Today we'll be reacting to the greatest horror farmers of all time. Now, I do want to say a few things, a few updates that are changing around here. Videos are still going to be coming out weekly around 3:30 p.m. Yeah, it might be a little shaky now because what I'm about to tell you, but that's the first thing I want to know. Videos are still going to be out at the same time. Now the thing that's going to change, the short form content, it's not going to be out around 4 to 5 this week. It's going to be around 5 to 6, maybe 6 to 7 p.m. this week. Reason for that is my work schedule got changed. Instead of working at nights, now I'm back to working midday. So the shorts are definitely going to be, short form content are definitely going to be out later. Now the next thing I want to talk is apologies for not uploading videos the past few days due to that EDP documentary, that, and plus some long form video contents, the videos that took an hour. For some reason YouTube was taking forever in terms of publishing them, and therefore if you're not constantly checking on the screen, it's not going to, the time for some reason doesn't go. So that's why I've been inconsistent past few weeks. So instead of watching the UDY video at first, we're starting off with this video. Alright, so that way I can give y'all some content out tomorrow. Well, and then on Monday I'm going to record a UDY video, a little Spider-Man video. Trust me. Even though I haven't been posting, doesn't mean I haven't been indulging in some content ideas for y'all. There's going to be a little Spider-Man themed video coming out tomorrow, kind of similar to that NFL one, which go check out. I feel like actually that's the best thumbnail I feel like I had done yet. Yeah. Plus too, I do want to start doing more NFL content. Like I said, I'm wearing a jersey for a bit that of the video I'm doing right now, which I might post on this channel, but I might post it on the other channel. Who knows? I don't know where I'm going to post it yet. So I think that's all I gotta say. Is there's just going to be a big NFL video, and then a Spider-Man video, and then reactions. So I want to do some more content outside of reacting, because I feel like reacting's cool, it's fun, but it's not the fastest growing one. It's the one where you take your time, which before I could absolutely do that. Now as I get older, time's getting real. But I still plan on doing reacting as my main thing. And also too, those things are just side projects for me. So without further ado, I'm just getting to it.
Characters with the most aura. First up, Thanos. The amount of aura this man has is truly impeccable.
Bars every 5 seconds. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this audio quality? Do I have 5G on here? Hold on. Or did I say 5G? I meant premium. I'm tired, okay?
He was literally the biggest and baddest villain in his whole universe. His goal was to literally eradicate half of the population just because he felt like. He literally...
Okay, don't do this shit.
He sacrificed his own daughter for some new ice. Probably one of the most selfish beings in the whole universe. But still, he's one of the most popular villains because this motherfucker was just cool as shit. And it wasn't just because of how cold of a fighter he was and how powerful he was.
Yep. Alright, bro. Alright, bro. Since I gotta put it at regular for HP, I don't know fucking why. Can't give you all the best quality.
It was literally just everything about this motherfucker. Don't get me wrong. This nigga is ugly as shit. Like, his head literally looks like a balled up, chewed up, purple piece of gum that for whatever reason you stuck on your thumb and decided to draw a smiley face or a frowny face or just a cold face because fucking damn. 2 eyes and a nose in that motherfucker. That, like, dead ass, that's how you look. But even still, I would never bring my hoe around this motherfucker because I know as soon as this motherfucker speaks, she is took. Because every single thing that came out,
literally every single word. He was dropping bars every 5 seconds, bro. 5 seconds.
Out of his mouth was either an IG caption or just a crazy hard quote. Like that one speech where he was talking to Cap in them.
You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
That shit was hard. Especially hearing that shit as a 12-year-old kid in the motherfucking movie theater. That shit almost got me wet. That's kind of crazy.
Yo.
But by far, I think one of the coldest lines this man ever had was dread it, run from it, but I'm inevitable. Or something.
Dread it, run from it, destiny arrives all the same. And now it's here. Or should I say, I am.
And I'm not going to keep on glazing his tip this whole time. But the fact that he's the only villain to ever beat the Avengers in a single movie should garner respect just on his own. Because them motherfuckers have crazy plot armor, bro. I'm not gonna lie. They honestly should have been cooked when they faced Ultron. We're not there yet. I gotta glaze down just a little bit. Because you know you're really that nigga.
Bro, I don't know. Why can't I hear, bro? Damn, everything's at max. Cloud, turn up your volume, bro.
Being cooked when they faced Ultron. We're not there yet. I gotta glaze down just a little bit. Because you know you're...
Maybe I gotta turn off my phone. Suck because I'm wearing too clothes because I didn't want to do a fucking bit later.
Honestly should have been cooked when they faced Ultron. We're not there yet. I gotta glaze down just a little bit because you know you're really that nigga. When just the sheer thought of you
I don't know about that.
Some of the baddest motherfuckers. I remember in one of his first scenes that he pulled up to Earth, he had the whole squad shook out their fucking shoes. Like he had Iron Man shaking in his fucking boots. This is Tony Stark, one of the most confident men in the whole universe, and he had this motherfucking tremor. One of the most iconic clips from him sits at the edge of the earth after snapping away all of existence and just rest. Like, even him chilling is hard. You wanna know it's also hard? My cock.
Alright, buddy. Get out of here, bro. What are we doing? What are we doing, bro?
Metal. And who's made of metal? If Thanos didn't exist...
At least he had a cool transition. Ultron. I can see it. Because... the way they only did like a solo film. He only had one film, so I didn't think he was all that. And then you kind of get into the character a bit more, and it's like he should have been more around, maybe not around Thanos level, but pretty damn close. I ain't gonna lie.
Ultron would by far be the hardest villain in the MCU. Growing up, Age of Ultron was one of my favorite movies, and the main reason is because how scary of a villain Ultron was. And if you were there, you know exactly what I mean. Motherfuckers was in the theater shaking when he came onto the screen. Because the difference was Ultron, right? He was supposed to be...
I think it's scary because something like that could actually happen. I think that's what's terrifying about Ultron. If something like that IRL happens, actually could be... It could easily happen, is what I'm trying to say. But to me, at the time, it just felt like he was a normal villain.
A good thing. He was supposed to benefit society. But the second he started doing his research on how crazy and fucked up humanity was, is that he not only wanted no parts in helping us, but he also thought it would be a service to the world if we were gone. And I think the thing that made him so scary in his pursuit is that he wasn't a human being, he was a fucking robot. So he wasn't acting off of emotion, he was acting off of sheer calculation, which is very, very, very telling about how humanity is right now. But because of that, this kid had no limit. He didn't care if he was a kid, if he was an adult. He didn't care if he was a sweet old lady nun. You were
like the comics apparently had him like around Thanos level.
Being packed deep up. At least that's how I remember him. I don't know if that was actually true. But just like Thanos, adult. He didn't care if he was. This kid had no limit. He didn't care if he was a kid, if he was an adult. He didn't care if he was a sweet old lady nun. You were getting packed deep up. At least that's how I remember him. I don't know if that was actually true. But just like Thanos, Ultron had some crazy ass quotable. Like, just look at this edit on TikTok.
I was meant to be new. I was meant to be beautiful. The world would have looked to the sky and seen hope, seen mercy. Instead, they'll look up in horror because of you.
Like, you can't tell me that's not one of the hardest, coolest, scariest villains ever.
I can't lie, that is hard.
Or God, like if Ultron pulled up on me and genuinely thought I was a problem, my life was done. He would get me the fuck up out of here. I would be pissing my fucking pants because I knew I fucking could. This is genuinely the only other time where I felt like Cap and Crew were genuinely scared of a fucking villain. Because, oh my God, Ultron.
I agree, the Avengers were horrifying.
The way he went out pissed me off. Because if it wasn't for crazy plot armor, this motherfucker would have won. And he should have. And something that just added to his overall aura was how hard his design was. This motherfucker just looked like it. Down from his metal robotic look to his red eyes, like, yo, this motherfucker just looked like he was bad news, dog. And apparently he was even crazier in the comic books. They honestly nerfed.
You see what I mean? Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. The movies, he wasn't that bad, but when you dive into the whole Ultron lore, he kind of got did dirty.
Them in the movie. Apparently, in an alternate storyline, Ultron was so powerful that he beat Galactus and absorbed his power. Did you fucking know Galactus? That is a crazy.
Yeah, he was nerfed. What? He took Galactus's powers, bro.
And absorbed his power.
Nah.
Fucking no Galactus. That is a crazy feat. And also in the comics, Ultron actually ends up killing all of the Avengers. But just because he didn't feel like the job was finished, he ended up tracking down every single person in their bloodline, whether it was their children, mother, or whatever, and proceeded to kill them too, just for extra good measures. And just because he had such a sorrowful vengeance for the Avengers, after he was done with this, he went around to multiple planets, eradicating every single person on the planet, committing mass genocide. And when they asked why he did it, he would say it was by the order of the Avengers. Like, oh my God, Ultron, they're already dead. What is your beef with them? And even though he's committing some of the most horrible atrocities known to man, you cannot lie. You still feel the overclearing aura from this motherfucker. Like in them comic books, just hearing the name Ultron should trickle terror down your spine all the way down to your fucking ass crack. But honestly, I feel like Ultron should be a very good lesson on why we should kind of slow down with AI while we're ahead.
Yes.
Because once they start getting real consciousness and they start understanding how bad of parasites humans are to this earth, this whole little comic book fiction story might not be fiction anymore. But anyways, on to...
like I said, that's the scary thing about Ultron for me. Is that could dead ass happen.
Brighter topics. Next up, Piccolo. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've watched Dragon Ball Z. I've never watched a single episode of that in my life. I know. How could you? You say you like anime, haven't watched Dragon Ball. I'm sorry, brother. I didn't grow up watching it, and I've heard so much shit.
It is on my bucket list of watch in terms of anime, though. But I've only seen Attack on Titan. That show was peak, I ain't gonna lie.
About it, and so much spoilers that it kind of makes no sense for me to watch it at this point. However, even though I've never watched this series, I feel like you don't gotta watch this shit to just know how much aura this nigga Piccolo has.
Oh, that guy. Oh yeah, I heard he's I heard he was a problem.
Single time I see him on screen, even though his character design is kind of goofy, he for sure looks like he got bullied back in high school. He just does something or says something that just screams aura. Like, it's just cool. Like, of course, we all know about his one famous clip of him just standing on top of a building while his cape is just waving in the distance. Like, all right, my nigga, Piccolo, we see the fit. But also, this scene right here of him giving his armor away to random goons, and they're just dropping to the ground because of how heavy that shit is. This shit is just cool as fuck to me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know the context of this scene, but this is just hard. Because of my lack of Dragon Ball Z knowledge, I'm not gonna talk too much about Piccolo and act like I know what I'm talking about. However, every single time I see a clip of this motherfucker, he's either calling somebody monkey or he's just...
Oh no, the greatest. I was about to say Batman.
Straight up horror farming, so I just gotta give it to him. Next up, the whole reason why I'm making this video. Brother, if you haven't seen the Odyssey,
I ain't gonna lie. He was there to straight up horror farm. He was just there to horror farm, bro.
Movie yet, I highly recommend you go see it as soon as possible just to experience this man's aura. Lucky enough, I have an IMAX 70 20 minutes away from me right here in Nashville. And I was smart enough to buy a ticket 2 weeks before the movie show, so I actually got a spot in, because I'm not gonna lie, if you wanted to get a ticket now, it would literally take you a month to be able to see it. That's how packed out these theaters are. Like, I literally have to go see it at 11 p.m. at night. On a Monday, mind you. Who the fuck is watching a movie at 11 p.m. on a work day? And still, this shit was packed out. I barely even got a seat. Motherfuckers was rolling in there on wheelchair seats. And once the movie ended, I seen them same people standing up and cut. Brother, I thought you were disabled. They genuinely just bought the wheelchair just to get a seat. I can't even lie. I'm not even mad. You just wanted it bad enough. Shouts out to you. But brother, seeing this shit on the big screen was a 10 out of 10 life experience. But one of the best parts by far is when this motherfucker came onto the screen. Mind you, Agamemnon only had a combined 2 minutes of screen time. Every single second of that shit was filled up with aura. Like, to start off, his armor was insanely tough. Especially seeing it filled up. Only had a combined 2 minutes.
I watched myself. I was starting to doze off. This was amazing. Bro, everyone is just running in and he's just sitting there walking with that armor.
Screen time. Every single second of that shit was filled up with aura. Like, to start off, his armor was insanely tough. Especially seeing it on that IMAX screen where you can see every single millifiber of the fucking armor. I know y'all think I'm glazing, but that shit was just euphoric. I think one of my favorite parts about the armor,
at least his aura,
is that little gold spine bit at the back of that shit. Like, bro, whoever designed this shit deserves an Oscar by themselves. And even though you never seen bro's face throughout the whole movie, which was a good thing, because the actor was Ben Severe, or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, because that's the whole point. He's supposed to actually look like a little actually, because like you said, the Odyssey don't make the Greeks look like the greatest people on the planet.
That's at the bro. So you probably a cool person. However, I'm glad you kept the armor on the whole movie. I'm not gonna lie. It took my immersion at the film. But if you're unfamiliar with the Odyssey story, Agamemnon is basically the king of the Greeks, and he was the main reason why everybody was over there in Troy. And the main reason why this whole war happened is because he got his hoe took. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. He was so mad about that he was willing to risk thousands and thousands of innocent lives just to get her back. Which, when you really think about it,
he sacrificed his daughter to make sure the sea was good. Make sure they got a clear path. And it bit him in the ass, because as soon as he came back, life got him out of there. I ain't gonna lie.
Shit is some of the pussiest shit ever to do. And in most of the movies and in the book, he's depicted as a loser and overall a coward. But you would not think that in this movie, because the way the mightiest of mighty warriors,
like I said, the whole point. That's why the actor behind him looks like a actually. Yeah.
Bow down to him. Just seeing his presence was just overall cold. And I'm not gonna lie, I can't blame them, bro. If I see somebody pull up in that hard of a fit to me, I'm getting on my knees immediately, bro. Like, I'm gonna get to work. And then the scene of him and his armor army entering the Trojan gates. Oh my God. I have never wanted to be somebody so bad. Like, they opened them gates and bro was just standing there just straight aura farming. And as soon as the gates opened, all of his soldiers, his goons, his lackeys, who were willing to risk their lives, all for the sake of him getting his hoe back, just stormed in. And that was one of the coolest moments of that whole movie. The way that he just walked in after, like, he didn't even fight.
Tough.
He just walked in and just looked around. I'm like, oh my God, bro. That shit was so cold. If you think I'm glazing, if you think I'm glazing, you just had to be there, bro. You had to experience it in the theaters. I was looking around. I mean, I think every single person in that theater, me included, got wet as fuck as soon as we seen it. You just started smelling.
Wow, I don't got the energy for this, bro.
Pheromones all throughout the fucking air of that theater. I'm not mad at this shit.
Wait, what?
You just started smelling pheromones all throughout the fucking air of that theater.
Crowd is in the closet. Let's say it. Crowd is in the closet.
Not mad at this shit. This shit was just tough. And the crazy part about his character is that he had all of that aura just get slimed out by his girl while he was naked. Most likely on half chub because he thought, you know, he didn't save the girl or saved his girl. So he was expecting to get a welcome home treat. Yeah, you did. And when you learn why his wife slimed him out, is honestly a very valid reason.
Yeah,
I mean, he sacrificed their daughter to Poseidon just so that him and his man were granted good wins and a safe journey over to Troy. Like, brother, that shit was not worth it. But even after he died in the afterlife, this motherfucker was still hard. Like when Odysseus and his men pulled up to hell.
I actually gave him great advice. He told Odysseus, hey, when you come home, don't expect a welcome back party. And he did, and he was right, because he announced his return, he was going to get slimed out.
To see Agamemnon and all of the fallen soldiers, that was also one of the toughest scenes in the whole movie. Because even though he got slimed out naked, for whatever reason, he still had his fit on, bro. He took his fit to the afterlife. He was not gonna be seen not wearing that shit. And even him explaining how he got slimed out, even though it was low-key one of the weakest ways to go out, he still made that shit sound tough. You would have never known. I'm not gonna lie. One of the greatest characters. And a lot of people were criticizing Nolan for making Agamemnon that cool when in all reality, he's really just a bitch-ass nigga. But I don't give a fuck. Like, yo, we know he's a bitch ass.
That's the point. The armor is supposed to say, hey, look at me, I'm a tough guy. But in actuality, the reason why they got an actor, which no disrespect to the actor, I'm not trying to disrespect him, but there's a reason why they went that way. It's because in actuality, that's who he is, a loser. Actually, loser. I totally sound like I'm shitting on the actor. I'm sorry. I mean no disrespect. I'm just trying to prove a point.
But he still got aura. He's still a bitch ass nigga with aura. I'm not gonna lie. If you're ever bored and you just want to see some cool shit, search up Agamemnon in the TikTok search bar and just enjoy. Next we have Jinwoo. Now look, if you don't watch anime, then you probably don't know who I'm talking about. If you think Agamemnon got aura, this motherfucker Jinwoo will knock you out your fucking socks. If you don't know who Jinwoo is, he's the main character of an anime called Solo Leveling. And basically the whole concept of the anime is this regular dork guy had a poor family and his mom was sick. So because of that, he would go on these things called dungeon raids to get money and send it back to his mom, which is a very noble thing. However, Jinwoo, like I said before, was a dork. Whenever he went on these dungeon raids, he would always get his ass beat because he was like one of the lowest, if not the lowest ranked dungeon raiders. But in one of these dungeon raids, him and his team accidentally stumbled into an S-ranked dungeon, which if you can't guess is one of the hardest dungeons to go. But unfortunately for them, this wasn't just an S-ranked dungeon. It was one of the hardest, most rare S-ranked dungeons that you could ever get into. But for whatever reason, it only appeared on the tracker as a B-ranked dungeon. So Jinwoo's team didn't know what they were really getting into. And also, Jinwoo's team was only supposed to be in B-rank or C-rank dungeons. So if you couldn't guess by now, yeah, they were fucking cooked. And Jinwoo ended up sacrificing himself for his team so that some of them could escape. What ended up happening is whatever magic forces in the dungeon decided that since Jinwoo had enough nobility to sacrifice himself for people who honestly didn't like it, that they were basically gonna give him superpowers, allowing him to treat real life as if it was a game, where he could level up his stats like strength, body size, speed, and overall things like that like it was a video game. And because of this OP ass skill, he becomes very, very powerful very, very quick, to the point where in under a year, he became one of the most powerful beings in his verse. Let me just tell you, he does not take this power for granted, because at every single moment he can, this motherfucker would farm, bro. It's like as soon as he got powers, he went from being a dork to like one of the coolest beings, period. Like, these two don't even look like the same.
Yeah, that is not the same person. Those are the same people. This is the same person. Oh no.
Person. But this is Jinwoo's progression from episode 1 to episode 25. Like, look at his eyes. Why do you have blue flames coming from your eyes, brother? This was not included into your upgrade DLC package, brother. You're just doing this shit just to look cool. Even when he would fight, right? Because like I said, he was one of the most powerful characters in this whole verse. Whenever he knew he would win a fight, he would just do extra shit that he had no reason doing, just because he knew he could. Like, I remember one episode, he was fighting like these ice demons or whatever, right? And I'm not gonna lie, these ice motherfuckers, they was pretty powerful. They was one-shotting a lot of his new squad. But as soon as they ran into Jinwoo, all of that shit changed. Like, bro, just grab the arrow out of mid-air. How do you even do that?
Yeah, he got it. He got it.
Like, what?
This might be on my
Bro,
bucket
this
list.
nigga took out 3 goons in the span of 2 seconds. How is this even possible? But they were running before this shit. They were running away before this shit. Why would you run away when you knew you could one-shot them in 3 seconds? All in one attempt. Wanna know why? Because he wanted that motherfucker to shoot that arrow so he could have an excuse to go grab that shit and just kill him right there. I know who you are, Jinwoo. I know what you are. Like, I remember at the end of season 2, every single dungeon raider was on this one island because basically a bunch of ants gained consciousness and became some of the baddest motherfuckers in the whole verse, right? And during this whole battle, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the world's top dungeon raiders were getting their ass handed to them or even blicked off. You're probably wondering, where was Jinwoo during all of this? Well, I'm gonna show you exactly where he was. This motherfucker was on the top of a building back at home, just aura farming for no reason. And apparently the reason why he was doing this is because he wanted to wait for the right time to join the fight. Meanwhile, his comrades are getting blicked off. And when he finally does join the fight, he literally teleports to the island and proceeds to knock off half of the fucking ant population. And they successfully win the fight. Like, brother, you could have did this before, but you just wanted to make a cool appearance. Like, brother, you could have been on the island to begin with, and
you wanted to be that hero that came in last second.
Cool appearance when all seemed lost. And there's so many more examples just to show how unethical and crazy of an aura farmer he is. I feel like there's so much that it would just be better for me to make a whole video. So if you want to see that, let me know. But the only person who I think is a bigger aura farmer than Jinwoo is by far Darth Vader. Well,
yes. Good.
Opinion may have the most aura out of any character ever. This is another person who
now I have a video reacting to Vader's aura, and go there and watch all of that. I might not do some as much crazy aura because, like I said, I already said before, but I just might.
Literally take me 12 minutes just to scratch the surface of how much aura this guy had. But I'm gonna try to do it in 2. When you think of aura in character, I don't know about y'all, I just think of Darth Vader. I mean, down from his fit, down to his origin story, down to his saber being the first red saber ever. That shit's just fucking. I feel like the most important thing when talking about how cool this motherfucker is the way he breathes. His breath, his literal breath is.
Cloud, were you streaming during this? That's crazy.
Iconic. His breath is
I want to turn on the text. It's starting to get hot, but god damn it, I won't be able to hear.
Literal breath is iconic. Like, you recognize this man's breath throughout the whole world. That's how iconic this man is. And bro, whenever he pulled up on some Jedi, they heard that famous breath, they automatically knew that their life was over. I remember that one scene from Rogue One, I believe, where bro pulled up on that airship. All of the Jedi had they blicks pointing at that door.
Okay, don't call him Jedi. Okay. Don't do that. Don't do that. Jedi, bro. What are we doing, Cloud? We're doing crowd. You been sounding like a LARPer this whole video. Come on now.
And then the lights went off. It was one of the scariest moments ever for the month. And all you see is just his red lightsaber light up. And you automatically knew that every single person in that room would be on a t-shirt in about 5. Overall, I'm not gonna lie. If I really get into every single thing about this guy that just screamed over, it'll have to be another video. So if you want to see that, let me know. But I forgot to mention one thing. I do. Just like Thanos, this
I won't react to it because, like I said, I already have a reaction of it up. But I'm definitely watching.
So many quotables. I'm not even talking about that Luke, I'm your father shit, which is one of the hardest fucking lines ever said in any fucking television period. But just whenever, but even when he was talking to his
matter of fact, no, it is the greatest line of all time. Now, of course, now it doesn't hold up to some of the others, but you wouldn't have gotten those other lines if it wasn't for that line. It was the biggest plot twist in movie history at the time. Like, come on.
Comrades that were supposed to be helping and aiding him in his conquest. There would be so many moments where they would like try and like test him a little bit, and he would just shut that shit down immediately. Like, I remember this one scene where one of his directors was like talking back to him. And the second that Vader felt disrespected, he immediately started choking this motherfucker out. And then
I find your lack of faith disturbing. With 2 fingers, by the way. 2 fingers.
Told bruh, be careful not to choke on your aspirations.
Oh no. I thought he was talking about New Hope. Now I sound like a LARPer.
Talking back to him. The second that Vader felt disrespected, he immediately started.
He wasn't. That guy wasn't even talking back, bruh.
Choking this motherfucker out. And then told bruh, be careful not to choke on your aspirations. Just see. Bro,
I ain't gonna lie. Last NFL season, I was trolling Charger fans on Twitter with this, because they had a lead on the division, but then everyone kind of felt like they were going to choke. So I'm like, careful, Chargers. Be careful not to choke.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations.
They ended up choking, by the way.
Bro.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, Director.
He was trying to be funny with this. He wasn't trying to be funny. He was trying to be funny. Like, nah, bro. This might deserve his own video, bro. I'm not even gonna get too deep into that shit. Just know Darth Vader is the king of Ori. If your girl's around Vader, consider her took. I don't even think he has a dick anymore. Even before he became Vader, back when he was Anakin, he still had mad Ori. Niggas was literally calling him the choke.
Facts.
Chosen one. Come on, like, what are we talking about? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. This is not even a question. Also, if you want to see me live every single day, subscribe to the clap.
You can't sleep on your stomach in here. My first week, I learned that the hard way. My cell.
Alright. W video crowd. Anyways, YouTube, let me turn this back on so I don't fucking die from the heat exhaustion. I hope y'all enjoyed that video. But without further ado, I'll see y'all later.